people, and it's gone on far too long.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. First of all, I just want to say bluntly that I completely disagree with the historic and cultural assessment that was submitted by Dominion as part of their environmental impact statement. It is absolutely untrue that this area does not exhibit a cohesive cultural landscape. Union Hill is far from that. Within its boundaries, Union Hill is filled with abundant, rich history, its natural beauty, its calmness, and most importantly, the amazing people. Maybe they thought there wasn't any cultural or historic or heritage here because the Buckingham County Courthouse was burnt down in 1869, and with it were the records of all the slaves that were within this area. But Union Hill is far from that. The African American culture and history is far from who is recorded on those slave ledgers. We're far from that, and we're more than that. So the culture and the heritage of Union Hill wasn't destroyed that night in the fire. And we know that because we know of the struggle of the people who founded Union Hill, the determination to make sure that this community was built, something that they could pass on from generation to generation. And we know they prided themselves with property ownership, and they knew this was something that they could give to their generation, the wealth and the equity that was tied to these lands. We know all of those things. We also know that they prided themselves on building the community as they established the two churches here. To me, the environmental and racial injustices plaguing Union Hill is more than the environmental devastation that's going to come if the pipeline, which it's not, is going to be constructed. Or the constant emissions from the compressor station that we know is going to give off emissions constantly. That's not going to be built either. But what is the injustices going on in Union Hill? It includes the environmental racism and the continual efforts to erase and devalue African American and people of color. That's right. This marks an opportunity for us, for Governor Northam, our elected officials, and our regulating agency to take a pause and confront the truth of what is happening here today and make every effort to right the wrongs so all communities can begin to heal. This is a time to respect and make note of all the trials, struggles, and determinations of the founders of Union Hill. Located on the property purchased by Dominion from the Variety Shades plantation, we know there are some burial sites. This is the time that we need to restore those burial sites and avoid what Dominion is doing. They're ignoring and devaluing the American heritage. This is not the time to ignore the past. This is the time to confront the harsh realities of the segregation practices that were used to demoralize the slaves by not allowing their loved ones to be buried in cemeteries with whites. And they were given to the far reaches of whatever plantation site it was to be left and ignored and forgotten. Let this be the time that Union Hill ancestors are properly identified, honored, and provided the care and dignity that was denied to them in life. Let this be the time we learn who they are, we learn their names, and we complete the fabric of Union Hill's history and culture. This is the time to take a stand with Union Hill. This is the time to say no pipelines, no compressor stations, no to fossil fuels and natural gas projects. Thank you.
And it's gone on far too long, and we won't be silent.